Chris Plant is a syndicated radio talk show host. Leslie Marshall, Fox News contributor, also syndicated radio talk show host. What are the chances of that happening, Chris?
Probably zero. I mean, there's no benefit for Donald Trump in doing that, so I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a good challenge, and it makes it clear that Ted Cruz is nipping at his heels and maybe even ahead of him in Iowa, and it puts the two of them up there as the two front runners, so it sets Ted Cruz apart from the rest of the pack.
All right. Leslie, smart or dumb move by Trump to say not going to do it?
I think this is a very dumb move. I think in addition to the fact this reminds me of a kid going, I'm taking my toys and going home because I'm not winning the game, perhaps. I think it shows with, especially regard to Megyn Kelly, an intelligent, a strong woman, asking questions of him about women and how he treats women, I think, as a woman, reeks of sexism in itself. In addition to that, not just the people of Iowa, but everybody who is searching for which individual are they going to nominate who is going to be voting in a Republican primary, and especially these that are going to caucus in less than a week in Iowa.
Right.
They want to know Donald Trump's stance specifically on those social issues that the Republicans in Iowa care about.
Okay.
This shows selfishness, and this shows weakness, and I think this is an example of what type of president he would be. So I think it hurts him across the board.
All right, Chris, do you want to rebut that, or do you agree with Leslie?
No, I don't agree with her. No, I think that this is going to end up in the end with almost everything, like almost everything else, as a win for Donald Trump with his supporters, because he's taking a stand. Look, he doesn't lack opportunity to address the people of Iowa, the country. He's on media about 23 hours a day, from what I can tell. I have to sleep sometimes. He apparently doesn't. But it's not as though he needs more camera time or more time to make his point. He's got plenty of opportunity to do this, but it looks like he's picking a fight, and he's big and strong and tough. I think on the stage tomorrow night, every Republican candidate will take an obligatory swipe at Donald Trump, and then they'll turn their attention to Ted Cruz and assail him because he's there.
Yeah, and because he's next in line as far as what the polls are saying. Speaking of the polls, 2% of the people in Iowa are undecided. That is tiny, Leslie, but 39% might change their mind. That's interesting, right?
Oh, absolutely. But we've seen this in Iowa before, even more so in New Hampshire, that 11th hour decision. And we've taught, everybody that you hear from that's been through this process in Iowa, every 4 years in this caucus state, they say a lot of people have their minds changed, when they sit and they caucus at these people's homes. Right. And I think after tomorrow's debate, we're going to see that as well.
It's going to be interesting. And also, one other thing, they got to show up at the caucus for their vote to be counted. Yeah. So you always have to look at the weather and other factors and everything else. All right, Chris and Leslie, we will see what happens tomorrow night.